Hi, this is James Shugg, Friday, November the 18th, Westpac London's end of day market wrap. Just a quickie today, two main stories. In Europe, the French and Germans have been arguing about the best role that the European Central Bank can play in terms of helping to alleviate the European sovereign and banking crisis. The French would like the ECB to act effectively as a lender of last resort, to act like other central banks in fact around the world have done and are currently doing, to act by buying the bonds of the problem sovereigns, probably unsterilised, to hold down yields, to allow those governments to continue financing themselves in an affordable way while they undergo the austerity measures and economic reforms that are necessary to cut their budget deficit positions and to make their economies more efficient. Without the ECB stepping in that way, it might be that the whole process of budget deficit reduction, austerity, microeconomic reform and recession might be such that more governments in Europe lose access to financial markets, like we've already seen with Greece, Portugal and Ireland. The Germans, on the other hand, are dead against it. They think it would be hugely inflationary and it's not in the ECB's remit to act in that way. Our view at Westpac is the ECB will ultimately need to do that at some point in 2012, but at this stage it's just an argument between France in support of it and Germany against it. So that argument has kept markets in Europe fairly negative in terms of their sentiment. The offsetting factor has been some decent news out of the US economy, just a small number, the October leading index, but it posted a decent 0.9% rise. The flavour of US data has been more positive of late, and so on top of that recent history of improved economic news, today's result has added to the sense that maybe the US economy is starting to recover in a more sustainable way. And we've seen forecasts for the last quarter of this year upgraded by some of the major US houses. They're now talking about like 3% annualised growth in Q4, which would be the strongest quarter of 2011 if it's correct. Our view is that the data will lose momentum again as the headwinds confronting the US economy reassert themselves, as we've seen happen with previous bouts of more upbeat economic data, but for the time being it looks a little bit positive today. Okay, that's it really. The other main stories. In terms of market impact, at 4 o'clock in London we've got the Dow up 0.5% at 11,837. The FTSE in London though is down 0.8%, about an hour before the close. The French markets are unchanged today, and the DAX in Germany is down 1/3%. In commodity markets we've got copper prices up 1%. Gold prices are up 0.5% at $1,729 an ounce, and copper prices are down a touch, 0.1% off, $98.69 a barrel. The Aussie dollar is at 1.0053 against the US dollar. It was a little bit below parity when I first got into the office about 7 o'clock this morning. By 8 a.m. it was back at parity, and it's sort of been grinding higher ever since, with the better US news certainly helping the Aussie just a little bit. Okay, that's it for Friday. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week.